Smiley Day Geeks. Welcome back to the Geek Sider Show. I'm Josh.
I'm Anna.
And in this video, we're talking about Critical Role Campaign 3, Episode 27. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to avoid any spoilers, skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. The first half of this episode had some of the most captivating role play I think Critical Role has ever had.
Yeah, there was just so much and just done so well.
And it was just like rapid fire, back to back to back to back to back. The first was the postcards, right?
Yeah, I think postcards was first.
It was Chetney investigating the postcards, and we find out that the postcards are all brand new.
Yeah.
So you have an interesting theory on this. Did you get it from somebody else? Did you read it somewhere, or is this yours?
My theory, like when I first heard that, was that Nana made all of them before Fern left to go explore. She like made all of them quickly, gave them to her all at once, and used some sort of modified memory spell to make her remember getting them at different points in their different parts of points throughout her life. Now, that's not how modified memory works. So it definitely would have had to been something else.
See, I think Nana might be some kind of archfey, and that might not be beyond the realm of the capability for an archfey.
Yeah, see, that's I'm like, I don't know what capabilities they would need to do this. Like, I don't know enough about D&D and the lore and stuff like that. But that is my thought: is that all of the cards were made at once by Nana, and that she gave them to Fern when she knew Fern was leaving, and just fucked up her memory to think that she's been getting them all her life.
I think there's something up with Nana.
Oh yeah.
She's an archfey or a hag or something, because Fern's just like, oh, you know, we lived off on our own, and Nana baked and made cookies, and we had a nice quiet life. I'm like, oh fuck no, that's not all there was to that.
Yeah,
Nana is something.
Well, there's two ways Nana could go. One, Nana is protecting Fern, like whether it be from her parents, which I don't think, even though that seems to be the dominant theory on my server, because Nana gave her the gem to give to her parents. So if Nana was trying to protect her from her parents, she wouldn't be encouraging her to find them. So I don't think it's that. But she could be protecting them from the Unseelie Court.
Yeah, for sure.
And just was like, look, she's old enough, I gotta let her go and explore now. Or, like you said, she's a hag and has taken Fern, and I mean, her parents were super surprised, or her mom was super surprised to hear from her, and maybe wants to check it out before having more. I mean, we'll certainly find out.
It's
in a couple episodes.
It's I don't know, because Chetney didn't roll super good on that Arcana check. So what that stone is, it could be something so that Nana can just always find Fern. It might, and then when she hands it over to her parents, now she can find the parents. It can be something super nefarious, or it could be something very protective. It's who knows? Hopefully, we find out in the next episode.
Yeah. Like, well, it's not going to be the next episode, because the next episode, the entire episode, I bet you, is going to be that race.
You think the whole episode is going to be the race?
The whole episode is going to deal around the race. The race itself will probably be like the first half, but then they got to deal with Britannish and the aftermath.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be the following episode when we get Fern.
I'm so impatient for it. I want. I'm the backstories that I'm most interested in right now. Number one is Imogen, because we got some lore for her today. Not today, in this episode. Fern and FCG. That's the three that I'm like, ooh. Listen, we're just eating it all up. So let's talk about FCG. Some stuff we got in this episode. I think FCG's glitches, where when they were describing Dancer, and they were just kind of picking up elements of each of the other characters and putting them as the description of Dancer, was that just like was FCG just distracted there and misremembering things, or is there like something really serious and bad going on?
I think that whenever FCG has really strong emotions, whatever the fuck was done to his memory it starts to get a little funky.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what
They've
happened.
glitched a lot before, but this was really bad in this episode.
They glitched once before, and that was also after some pretty strong emotions, although I cannot remember the specifics of what happened
I know you're
prior
talking about
to when he glitched, but like they had some strong emotions and then they started glitching. And that's the same thing here. Like they just found out all this shit about Dancer and then they started glitching.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't. FCG's wild because like who fucked with their memory? Did anybody fuck with their memory? Maybe it's like a system
reset?
like Charlie, I think the Aoramaton that the Mighty Nine, spoilers for Camping 2, that the Mighty Nine found in Aor before he was restored. He was a completely different robot and he had no prior memory of anything, and then they restored him and he went back to his normal self. Like, is FCG like that? Did Dancer find them and restore them and put some sort of block in place so that he would be dependent upon her?
See, that's an interesting question because I got the vibe from the people they've talked to about Dancer that Dancer is a very capable engineer, but not so capable as to create something like FCG. I get the sense that Dancer prepared FCG enough to get him up and going, right? But would she have the skills necessary to alter memory at that point? I don't know that Dancer would.
Yeah,
I think it has something to do with like a complete system reset that was necessary.
Yeah, and
as part of his hardware, as part of his coding.
Yeah, I think it's more a Charlie situation. That's just something happened that
they're gonna have to go to Aor.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited.
And the thing is, we've talked before about how we both think this is going to be a pretty short campaign. I think it's not going to go to 100 episodes. I think it'll go to 75 or 80, which would put them probably like around level 10 or 11. And to go to Aor at level 10, you're seriously looking at a TPK potentially there with some of those mobs.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless Matt levels them up faster.
He could. He seems like he might be leveling up a little bit faster this time around.
It does feel a little bit faster, but I don't know. That just could be because early leveling up goes faster. So I guess it'll just depend on how he continues this trend.
Yeah. Another a really fun part of the role play from the first half was Dusk basically kind of trying to make their way through the party.
Dusk is pulling a fern.
And I don't know what their motivations necessarily are, because we did find out in the last episode that Dusk is potentially a villain. I think there's more to that.
Yeah.
But that I think maybe that motivation is less of developing crushes and more of what can they do to divide the party.
Maybe, yeah.
It's almost like they have like a dual personality. Whenever they get contacted by that contact in the Unseelie court, it's like they switch, and they're a different person almost.
Yeah. I do though. It didn't occur to me that Dusk was trying to split the party until you just said it, but that makes a lot of sense because she chose Laudna, who. She knew that Laudna and Imogen were fighting. She talked to Imogen, probably got the vibe that Imogen would not go for that. Because Imogen was very standoffish during their conversation, so then instead decided, well, let's try Laudna. She might be a little bit more receptive to this idea. And then when that didn't work, almost immediately asked Orem. Yeah. And Orem was standoffish from the whole group because he was just very nervous about this whole plan to go into the Paragon's Call headquarters. Like, he was just...
It's a bad plan.
Yeah, it was a terrible plan. They're lucky they didn't get their shit kicked, but...
Some lucky rolls saved.
Yeah, Ashton's... or Talison's natural 20s saved. But, like, he was nervous about that and, like, standoffish from the whole group. They even pointed out that he seemed upset, and that's who she chose second. So that makes a lot of sense that they might be trying to break up the party a little.
Yeah, I do think that if Orym hadn't, said, "Hey, let's play with these toy swords," and had a little duel, I don't think that Dusk would have maybe approached Orym.
No, I think
the opportunity presented
the
itself.
Opportunity, yeah, they used the opportunity of them being alone. Yeah.
So, who do you think Dusk's going to try to hook up with next? I don't think it's going to be Chetney.
No, I don't think. I think maybe Ashton.
I think Ashton.
I think maybe Ashton.
I'm looking forward to seeing that crash and burn.
I don't know if Ashton will turn Dusk down.
I don't. It's a good point. I just don't see Ashton being into Dusk.
I don't know if they'll agree to a date, but be like, I mean, we can fuck around.
Oh, what was Dusk there when they were talking about the not deal, but Chetney's offer to Fern? Was Dusk privy to that? Because if they are, I could see them going after Chetney just to get to Fern.
Oh yeah, if they know about it, possibly. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, technically, all they're offering is a date. Because
I think when they talked,
possibly.
I think that when Chetney and Fern were talking about it, it was during a watch.
Yeah, they talked about
so
it
everybody
during a
should
watch,
have been
so
asleep.
Everybody should have been asleep. Yes.
But there's one point where Erica, and I caught this from on Twitter. Erica was texting Matt, and Matt was rolling behind the screen, and Erica was rolling, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is going on there?"
Yeah.
And I missed it entirely, but I want to ask, what the fuck is going on there?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I forget when that happened. But yeah.
Wow. So anyway, the first half of this episode was bananas with roleplay.
Yes, so much so.
The second half of this episode had a massive lore drop.
Yes.
The leader of the Paragon's Call, somebody Thule, Ohana Thule, Otana,
Otana, I think. Otana Thule.
Odahan
Thule.
Han, because I remember thinking Han Solo. Odahan, yeah.
Odahan Thule.
Is apparently the entity person who's been in Imogen's dreams.
That's what it seems like. See, unfortunately, none of the characters put that together.
So the players did.
Yeah, the players did immediately, but none of the characters put that together, so we don't actually know, because Matt didn't confirm or deny.
Yeah.
So we don't actually know if this is the same person or if they just happen to look the same. I think it's the same person because the big detail, the hair pulled to the side and like a curly poof thing, gray hair, he left that until very last in the physical description. And I was like, you did that on purpose because you didn't want them to realize it until you were done describing the character.
And I need to watch that dream sequence again, because I think the armor might be similar too.
Yeah, the armor similar. There was a lot of descriptions that were similar. The thing is that
the hair was the big thing.
Yeah,
that
the hair was the big
off.
thing. Yes. But the armor description, you could see Laura like, oh fuck, oh no, this can't be. Like you could just see her being like, right at the armor description.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that Imogen didn't roll high enough to tell what.
Lana.
No. Imogen in her dream did not roll high enough to perceive this entity, so she didn't actually get a gender on it.
Right. Yeah.
So all she got was the dancer-like build and armor, the dark layered armor, leather armor, and then the hair thing.
Thule made him a deal. You can fight two of my champions with two of your champions, or you can race. And obviously they were going to choose the race.
Yeah.
There was no way it was ever going to not be the race.
Yeah, the race was something that was definitely absolutely going to happen. It's obviously something Matt's really excited about presenting and has done a whole bunch of work with it. So of course the players were like, okay, yeah, we're going to do the race.
And it's clear that Taliesin is excited about it. It's not just that Ashton's excited about it. Talison's obviously. Yeah. I'm excited about it.
I am.
You mentioned when we were watching the episode, man, I'm really interested to see how Matt's going to run this.
Yeah, I want to see how he handles running a race. Like, I imagine he started with a chase, the chase rules in the player's handbook.
Which is basically like a skill challenge.
Yeah, a skill challenge. I imagine he took that and then expanded upon it. But I'm still super interested to see how it plays out because he's doing interesting things this campaign. The ball was really fucking interesting. That was different. That's not something that they've really done before. Not in that capacity anyway. The heist was fucking dope. That was another thing. Like, I don't recall them ever doing something like that on Critical Role before. It was really fucking interesting. So I am super, super stoked to see how he runs this race and what all the people who aren't in the vehicles are going to be doing and how that play. So excited.
And I love the minis of the cars. They're freaking cool and very Mad Max-esque. I'm super into that. Mostly though, for the race, I am very interested in the mechanics of how Matt's going to run it, because it's something I'm like, man, I wouldn't mind incorporating something like that into one of my campaigns. Let me see how Matt runs it, and then put my own little twist on it. I'm a little worried, because if there's potential anywhere for one of these players to go down permanently, it's in this race.
Yes.
But also, it's going to be awesome mechanically, and it's going to be awesome story-wise, just because it has potential for catastrophe. And whenever you have potential for catastrophe, it always makes for more interesting story.
Yeah. And it's just, there's like some interesting plans already happening. Like, I cannot wait to see what the fuck Ashley does with Fern. Fern is going to be hysterical.
She's like, I have some ideas. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. I'm like, this is going to be amazing. I'm interested to see Orem try to steal a competitor. Like, I shouldn't.
That's a cool idea.
It's a very cool idea. It's also incredibly fucking dangerous, and he always does this, puts himself in danger, like when he volunteered to wear the fucking bomb backpack.
Orem's not trying to solo this thing, right?
He's not doing it by... He was, but then Dusk said she would help. But yeah, I wasn't
sure that was a done deal, that Dusk was going to help Orem out.
I think so, but we never know. That could change come day of.
Dusk could peace out and let Orem die.
Yeah.
I mean, if she is like a true villain, she could be like, all right, let's go. and Orem jumps on and she doesn't.
Yeah.
So, oh my god, I am super psyched for this next episode.
Essentially, it's going to be a combat episode. And I don't usually like combat, but the fact that it's that's the thing, is it's a chase, not a combat per se. And it's got those Mad Max vibes. So like, really, like Mad Max meets Fast and Furious or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it just, it sounds exciting, and I can't wait to see what happens.
I can't wait to see the maps that Matt pulls out.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what kind of maps and how he does the maps and stuff like that. Like, that'll be really interesting.
And the stuff that the players come up with to interfere into the race.
And how they drive.
Yeah.
Because he said it doesn't necessarily have to be Dex. If you can describe it, he'll give it to you.
Well, like if you're taking a especially sharp turn, you got to twist those handlebars especially hard. You can make that a strength check.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a turn you can definitely make strength.
It depends on the mechanics of driving these things.
I hope those get.
It could be Arcana theoretically, depending on the.
Yeah, I hope the blueprint for how to drive the vehicles gets released.
I want to see the stat sheets.
Yeah, the stat sheets. That would be very, very interesting.
Yeah. All right, I think that's pretty much all we have for this video. We might have missed something. If we did, let us know down in the comments so we can talk about it down there. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please let us know by dropping a like on it and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.